Morgan and Brocianu turned a blind eye to Karmicheal's little endeavor. One can say with reasonable certainty that they even provided him with a measure of help and tools that cleared the path for his revenge. Pulling a string here or there to get to his target's current location was no problem, though traveling outside of Astoria proved more difficult. His heart now rejected the sun's, which scorched not his flesh but his mind. Thus, he traveled only under the guise of night until he landed at the right address. A dark, brick building, 3 stories tall, tiny windows, and a guard posting near the door. Not a problem for someone who can scale walls. Now, he could have taken the easy road. Dispatching the guy while he slept was no issue, but this was personal. No, slipping a lock of hair into his pillow, blowing the black seal powder into his face, and reciting the incantations quietly. Enjoy the curse, sucker. The Blood Knights were something else. They were a brainchild of their little collective, the council before councils held in secret in those months between their fated expedition and their grand feast that was to be hosted. Astoria could never again come so close to being bargained away by those seeking only to further themselves. They had just overcome too many obstacles to lose their freedom now. They were to be the front of the reformed military. Dark behemoths of warfare, capable of striking down entire armies by themselves, with loyalty to naught but the land that gave them both life and unlife, in the constant pursuit of bettering themselves to further the goal of striking down the shackles that sought to bind her. Each chapter master was handpicked for their undying loyalty and martial prowess. Michael was a different case, for certain. Not quite lacking in the departments that loathed the Burag or swore fealty to Astoria as a whole, but he did not strike the appearance of a poster child for war. No, his order would be different. See, the Black Grail bore the mark of the very cup that had changed him, that had imbrued his soul with blood. Their deeds were not marked on the battlefield, but in subterfuge, clinging to the darkness until they learned to become one with it. In this new Astoria, dark forever, there was no place that their shadow did not stretch. There was no place left to hide for traitors to whisper their foul words, nor a crevasse deep enough for deserters to cower in. It was his order who weaseled out the towering figures who stood in the shadows, puppeteering common folk, soldiers, and lesser nobles around. Perhaps the most difficult to unveil was the Lady of Masks herself, whose quiet whispers and strong advocating early on in the proposition that Khazir put forward might have come from a place of premeditation, and whose squadron of golem bodyguards might have more to do with the battered and broken bodies of those who had cried treason in the wake of his missive than anyone would let on. The fortress of the Black Grail has not been seen by anyone who was not in the expedition or interred as a member of the Order. It is dark and oppressive, and stands in a place so far flung from society that it is somewhere and nowhere at all. As it should be. And Karmicheal Vernari may very well remain there, or in your shadow, to this day.